Welcome to the ITM Podcast.
This is episode 281 of the ITM Podcast, the official Boston Red Sox podcast of the CLNS Media Network. That's Scott Neville. I'm Joey Copponi. And the Boston Red Sox lose a heartbreaking series in heartbreaking fashion in the heartbreaking city of Toronto, Canada. My name is Joey Copponi. That's Scott Neville. Scott, how you doing?
I mean, as much as I would have preferred the series win, kind of nailed it, huh?
Did we nail it?
We said we lose 2 out of 3.
We did. We did. We
Crochet.
called a series L.
And I believe we liked Crochet and not the rest. And even though it wasn't the rotations problem at all, we got the games right too.
Listen, folks, I don't know if there's any betting folks that listen to this show. Our predictions we are scary hot. We should go back and look at how many predictions that we've had that have hit. I can't believe we nailed that. Scott, I almost missed an opportunity to pat us on the back.
Yep.
Not like me. Am I choppy?
A little bit. It was like,
Yeah.
I thought you were pausing for dramatic effect. I don't think you were.
Oh, no. I was just saying what a shock that I would miss an opportunity to pat us on the back. Yeah, what a terrible series. Highlights, lowlights, a lot of highs and lows. That's what comes with this team. That's what has come with this team in the past couple of years. I am going to give a quick little mirror take from a man they call Christopher Cotillo, who I think put it really well. And I'm not just saying this to mirror his take. I'm saying this because I think there's a conversation to be had around it. This team is above 500. And this team is set to be much better than they've been the past few years. But things feel so bad right now because the highs have not been that high. Scott?
Never mind. You said above 500?
Yeah, one game.
Yeah, we're good.
Yep. They are above, but it feels worse because the highs have not been that high and the lows have been very low. You know, still leading the majors in errors. The run differential is what it is. Injuries to the rotation. The rotation was healthy for all of exactly one day, which was very cool and funny. Wicked funny. Injuries are hilarious. And then, like, the losses, especially now, these two, by far the most heartbreaking losses. So the lows just feel low, like they feel heavier than they really are. Does that feel right?
I agree. Yeah, I was actually just checking the run differential. It's plus 14. That's kind of surprising to me. I would have almost thought we would have a negative run differential. Because
we did not too long ago.
Downs. Yeah, and I think that's. I actually saw that tweet too on it because he shared it publicly. I think that's. I also think part of it is just that this was the year we decided that we were gonna be like a playoff team, like as a fan base. We just were like, oh, we're good this year. And it's like the roster makes sense, but the expectations have changed. If this is where last year's team sat, I think things would be a little different. I mean, I know that because this last year's team did sit in this, one game over 500 position quite a few times. And if that was the case, another prediction for you, last year's team would lose tomorrow's game because they like to be 500. But I think the expectations are part of it. I think the fact that it kind of feels weird. Like there's like Crochet is what he was supposed to be. Is and would win the MVP right now, or at least be in that race. The people that you were hoping would work out are working out. Christian Campbell is doing better than I think most people would have expected, even those that really believed in him. No slow start needed. And obviously there's like the Casas situation, but he's even. I mean, it's been a slowish start. Like he's turning it around a little bit. No, it's been a slow start, but he's getting closer, and it's not like there's like a bunch of problems on this roster. They're just not putting it together.
And it's not even that they're not putting it together, as a team. It's just in any given night, there is one fuck up that can get you over the line of, a win versus a loss, be it, a hanging slider from the bullpen or a blunder in the outfield, an infield error. Like there's just something that can go wrong. And they're just always hovering right there where a loss can turn into or a win can turn into a loss at any time. And up until this series, it felt like, okay, this team needs 3 runs. Like if they have a 3-run lead, then we feel good. A solo shot here or there, and we'll survive this game. Being up 6-0 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. Never would. Scott, that is turn off the TV territory. And I know because I did.
I was just going to say, I got to a point in that game at that exact point where I said, it wasn't that I was thinking about doing something else, but I also was like, it was kind of like, I was like on my phone more while the game was on. And I was like, I should probably pay attention just in case, like I don't know, like it was more me, not like in case. It was more just like, how can I keep this game more like engaging for me personally? I'm like, well, I mean, you give up, I guess, like, the pitching could matter because anything could happen, but like, and you're just kind of rooting for like individuals, whatever. But I was never like, I was kind of just like, this game is decided, so like, how much fun can I have with this? That's what I was trying to figure out. Well, it got real fun and then real not fun.
It was 6-0, and then I think it was the 2-run shot that Giolito gave up. And
wasn't it 2 individual solos?
Yes, it was. So
Which
he gave up the first one, and I was like, fuck it, who cares? I need to run to the grocery store anyway. That's probably the last of it. It's just going to be, a half dozen outs from here. Call it a night. So I'm, packing up my stuff, grab my phone, grab my wallet, and I get a notification that he gave up another one. And I'm like, damn, that sucks. Because, like, his outing was looking pretty good. He looked good. Better than expected.
Shocking.
His stuff was working. He was painting, dude. He was painting the edges of the zone. Like, and it was consistent, too. Like, when he was working a guy outside corner, boom, boom, boom. He looked good. He looked really good. So I was bummed for him more than anything. I was never concerned about the game. I just thought, that sucks for Giolito. He deserves better than that. And then I get in my car, and I'm driving to the grocery store, and on the radio, Will Fleming goes, and it is a tie ball game. And I pull the emergency brake and pull my steering wheel all the way to the left. I tailspin, Tokyo Drift style. You got to steer into the skid. Tokyo Drift on Hanover Street. Floor it. Tires burn out, right? White smoke. Drop the e-brake. Put it into manual on my Mazda crossover. I'm giving a lot of information here about my life. And then zip back to my driveway. I actually did. I turned around. I was like, no way. No fucking way. I went back home and watched the rest of that shit show, which I can't believe I did. I should have just gone to the grocery store and been like, it's over. Yeah. It's over. Like, I can just go about my life.
They lost and you didn't even, now you still have to go grocery shopping. That's a brutal combination. Yeah.
Just later. Like it was, I was like, why did I change my day? Like change my night for this?
When they
I have to get home. Yeah, I have to get home to make sure that they really do finish up losing this game.
If they were down 6-0 and then they made it 6-6, totally get it.
Yeah.
Being like, oh shit, they blew it.
Well, part of me was like, it was almost like I don't know, like you get an emergency call. It's like, Dad's going to the hospital. We need you here. Like, oh my God. They tied it.
All hands on deck.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do. I panicked a little bit. It was like, I got to get home right now. It was just horrible. Just horrible. And then tonight, too, in the finale, you just felt it. And again, to a guy that you want better for. Like, I don't know if there's another guy on the entire pitching staff that fans as a collective just want to succeed more than Justin Slayton.
Maybe Garrett Whitlock.
Whitlock is weird because I think there's a section of the fan base that has given up on him entirely.
Yeah. Well, those are the two.
Yeah, that's it. It's either God, I hope he does better, or he's never gonna do better. Yeah, that's
Both
it.
Didn't do better.
Yeah, Slayton's an interesting one. Where are you at on Slayton? Because I knew you were a big Slayton guy. You were like for him being the closer at the beginning of the year. Where are you at now?
I still think he's really good at baseball. He has like a 5.56 ERA this second, but I totally have faith in him. I think it's one of those things where it's May 1st, and I kind of think people forget, ourselves included, when we do this show twice a week, and you have to talk twice a week. Like the one thing that stinks about what we do is we have to give takes. So like we have to 6 days into the season be like, I think Devers is done. I don't know. And then you get like a week later and you're like, oh yeah, that's right. That was game 6 of 162. But with Slayton, I think I envision a Red Sox stats tweet, or Milliken or somebody that was like, Slayton has 0.93 ERA from May 2nd to July 31st or whatever. And one of those like where they just go, well, if he didn't have these 2 games where he gave up a lot of runs, look how good he's been since,
Yeah.
Or since allowing that home run in Toronto, he's had a this ERA. And I still think he's a really good pitcher. His stuff isn't anywhere. I think he's gonna figure it out and be fine. Also,
he never. Yep.
Not that bad of a pitch. I know.
No,
people
it wasn't.
It's hard to say that on a 3-run home run, but he threw a curveball. It didn't hang. It was below the zone. Mm-hmm. Vladdy scooped it. He couldn't hit the high fastball. I would have probably stuck with that, but I think it went where he was trying to throw it.
I think the high fastball he didn't have command of, because he was kind of all over the place with it. And I think that was the right pitch to put him away. Get him to chase something low and in, righty, use that matchup, throw that curveball right there. That's the pitch that you want, exactly how you want it. It's just also Vladdy Jr. in the box.
I heard TC and Jim Rice talking about how should you have walked him with second and third? But there was 1 out though. So it's like, what are you going to do? You're going to walk it you're going to get the bases loaded with 1 out? That's better? I don't know. I think if there was 2 outs, argument. Absolutely an argument. Also, I think he kind of did pitch around him. I think that's kind of what you do in that spot. It's like you have the base open, but then when you get the 2 strikes, which you did, you got to go get them.
Who's behind him? Varsho?
Let's see.
Is that right? Am I making that up?
It's Santander, who's hitting 178, but is very scary. Varsho is after him. So you would have had to get out Santander and Varsho.
Yeah.
And Varsho. By the way, if you don't get Vladdy, you have to face Varsho, barring a double play, who is hitting 300 with a 1362 OPS this year. So,
that's obviously the hope when you're loading the bases with 1 out, is to get out of it in 1 batter. But still, I walking the bases full never feels great. In a 1-run game, it just doesn't feel good.
With 2 outs, I get the argument. But with 1 out, I guess it does open up the double play. But I don't know. I think that's
ugly.
It's also it wasn't there wasn't extra innings. I think you got to get Vladdy out in that situation, and he was probably, I don't know, 3 inches away on that curveball from getting him out. Just that much, probably lost by.
It's tough because there's little you can point to in this game beyond just run support. I'm sure you saw this too if you were watching the post game. They're 3-11 in games where they have scored less than 4 runs. It's always 4 runs. 4 runs is like the magic number. If you can put 4 runs on the board
for the Red Sox,
for the Red Sox in particular, if they score 4 runs, they win the game, and if they don't, they do not. But there's little to point to besides that in this one. It's just another one that just hurts, and you get ahead so early. You're like, oh, we're good.
I think what's weird about it is like the moments you expected, like the big moment in this game where the Red Sox lost should have been when you got runners in scoring position and then you have Devers and Bregman, and then they walk Devers and it's Bregman with 2 outs and a huge moment, and they struck him out or whatever. But no, he roped one and they scored 2 runs, got Devers at third. He did what he always does. I think he leads in extra base hits right now, like the whole league. And so like you think when you have those moments where it's like, well, this is the game, and they win that moment, then you're good. But unfortunately, it's also not even like, oh, they need more relief depth, whatever, because the 2 guys that gave up bombs, Whitlock and Slayton, and like the 2 big moments where they blew the game, those were moments where it's like, well, those guys are probably going to end up being fine. And maybe you don't feel that way about Whitlock. Like, I understand where people feel. I kind of feel like the Red Sox ruined him a little bit. I've been thinking about this a lot recently, where the teams have been like giving up on a sure thing. Is just so like Whitlock. A little side tangent, was a 1 ERA guy, and had the perfect role, and it gave the team such an advantage because you had this 2-inning super reliever like Andrew Miller, and they were like, let's fuck that up. Let's just see what happens.
It's his own fault. It's his own fault for emerging at a time when the Red Sox were allergic to spending or acquiring starting pitching in any other way. They weren't developing, drafting, trading, or signing anybody for the rotation. So kind of his fault.
He wanted to be a starter, but also
he wanted to be the janitor.
Well, he was willing to be the janitor, but he had in his contract, he had innings pitched, and so it was very clear that he actually wanted to be a starter. Willing to be the janitor if it helped the team, but contractually,
he brought up the janitor thing a lot. He brought it up a lot.
Yeah, here, right?
But he brought it up on this show. He brought it up everywhere. So I don't know if the janitor thing was like I'm willing to. He brought it up like a suspicious amount. Where he's like, I guess if you want me to clean the toilets, I guess I will. I don't know. Someone's gotta.
But yeah, I don't know. They did that, and then the Yankees had a Garrett Whitlock named Michael King. And they made him a starter, and it worked out. And then they got really lucky, and then they traded it for a year of Soto. So I just think about those moments where they go, wow, this is good. Like, for me, it was like, man, Yankees fans they were all talking about how Whitlock is going to be an absolute problem, and he was a Rule 5 that we gave him, and what a huge problem. Yeah. And then it was like, oh, Michael King actually is the real Garrett Whitlock because we ruined Garrett Whitlock, and that's going to be a problem for a long time. And then they got rid of him too. But yeah, anyway, it's kind of weird to not have a if there was a guy that blew a Zach Kelly or something, not even a Zach Kelly because he's been okay, but if there was a bottom of the bullpen guy that blew this, and it's like we need to trade for a reliever soon, or we need more depth, we need to call up Luis Guerrero. It's kind of just guys just had bad nights, and
that's what sucks is you can't
reaction.
There's no reaction to be had. I was thinking about that today before this game even happened. It's like there's nothing to point to be like, oh, well, they need bullpen help or they need a shortstop. They need that. No, it just kind of happens sometimes where bad things line up enough where that happens. Also, I want to play a card really quick. I want to, out of my deck of ITM cards, I want to play the ITM official give a pass card. And I want to give it to Wilyer Abreu. I'm going to give him a pass. On that ball that went over his head in right field. It was a little funky. Kind of just, it sliced, went over his head a little bit. I don't blame him for that. And is it his fault? Yes. But do I want to give him a pass? Yep. Yeah, I do. I just felt bad for him. I wasn't angry at him at all. All that went through my head was, damn, that sucks. Willier's going to beat himself up for that. So, official pass given out.
Yeah, maybe the worst footwork in the history of MLB. I don't know if anyone's ever fallen for a longer amount of time than he did in that moment, but sure, yeah. I guess for me, it's when it's a Gold Glover, it's tough to be like, come on, it's kind of just like, well, I mean, Gold Glover just tried to be a Savannah Banana for a second. There's really nothing we can do about that. That's just That's the game. That's why we watch the games. Like sometimes they're just a guy that, like I said, reigning Gold Glover is just gonna be like, wait, hold on, should I just keep backing up into this? Is that how I should do this?
Well,
you know what else?
the wind.
Let me lean my back as far as I could.
The wind, Scott. You
Sure.
haven't thought about the wind
In the Rogers Center.
There's a lot of wind in the Rogers Center. The people, they bring those portable fans, because it's so hot in Canada. So they have all those portable fans, and what happens is when it gets up a cold front and a warm system, the heat air rises, and it creates the swirling effect where a ball hit into right field by a right-handed bat is going to make you look really silly. He fell like a cartoon character. He fell like out of a comedy.
It was such an embarrassing miss because of the somersault he had to do at the end. Once the ball hits the ground, and then he somersaults, and
he should have lost a shoe the way he fell.
I actually do think him falling comically made me less mad about it. Because if he had just been like reading it and missed it, I'd be like, what on earth just happened? But that one, it was like, this dude has been tripping for 17 minutes. It's impressive that he even got in the same vicinity of the ball. Like, the fact that was sort of almost a catch, pretty good considering the fact that he started, like, when they do, like, the route percentage of, like, how close it was to a perfect route, and, like, they also do your jump. Like, his was 0 percentile on both. And he still kind of ended up over there.
He did. You can't take that away from him. He kind of got to it. He kind of got pretty close to it, and he fell down. I think the falling inspired some empathy in me. I was like, oh, poor,
I think that might be
poor Buehler. It's
also like, if it's a bad defensive player, I get frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's like if a Gold Glover makes a mistake, if Alex Bregman is charging a bunt and he just like can't palm it, I'm just gonna be like that. You know what? Whatever. Like, it's just
Yep. Don't worry about that.
I think that was Jaron Duran stealing a base.
That was him right there. Yeah, he jogs on my street.
Also,
yep.
While we're talking about defense, David Hamilton made the sickest play I've ever seen in my life.
He sure did. He's good at
those. It was one of those like, oh, okay, what? Yeah, we can take that. Like, what the hell just happened?
David Hamilton is such a cool guy to have on your team for moments like that. He just feels like such a World Series winning component. It's like, and they had David Hamilton who, make these stupid plays in the field, and, he'll steal second, before the pitcher releases the ball, and he's going to hit 118 at best. And he's going to have 10 bombs somehow while he does it. I don't know. That's what he's got. He's fun. I will say, hand up a little bit, I did think we would see a little more offensive production from him thus far. I mean, he's only had, I'm not sure how many ABs. I'm going to pull it up right now, but I did expect a little bit more. I will say that.
I mean, definitely
30
thought he'd hit
ABs.
better, but it's kind of tough to blame when they plays every 6 days.
Yeah. 30 ABs, he's got 2 hits. So,
like, once a week, they're like, have fun with Major League pitching. You've been hitting BP for 6 days.
Yeah. What must that be like? That's crazy.
I imagine difficult.
Not great. Probably not great. Tanner Houck. I guess a little clap for Tanner Houck.
97.
Yeah. 7 innings. 1 run, 4 hits, no walks, 6 Ks. Not the Houck of old. Honestly, I was kind of shocked when I saw that we were in the 6th. This game flew by for one, but also just not dominant, but like he needed those numbers.
To your point, in the 6th, he had like 64 pitches. Like, he was doing like 10 an inning, which is, that's when he's at his best. I mean, he's had so many games where he's pitched like he'll be in the 7th at 72 pitches. Like when he does have those long outings, it's always like he has an absurd, like it's never like 7 innings, 104 pitches. It's like he's either going to throw a complete game in 82 pitches or he's, going to pitch like he did last week.
Also, the Sox are now, again, no fault of his own in this one anyway, 1-6 on Houck start days. That blows. That really blows.
You need to have Bayo pitch more often because they always win on Bayo days.
Strange. What is their record with Brian Bayo right now? Let me check. Brian Bayo.
What?
Well,
he won the first game.
Yeah, they're 2-0.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there we go.
Boom. Undefeated with Brian Bayo on the mound, just like we all said was going to happen. You love Brian Bayo.
No, not us. We hate that guy. We were documented against it.
There is literal documentation of us hating on that guy. I hate that that's what the only thing that got used. Because when I saw it, I was like, so we're gonna pop up a couple of times in here. No, you guys showed up. We'll give the people a taste of who you guys are. You guys hate Bayo. And back to the show. The White Sox won 8-0 tonight. They do that a lot.
I don't think they do it a lot.
No, but I mean, they score a lot of runs a lot.
Oh.
Yeah, it's happened a few times. Yeah, dude. I mean, listen, nobody's happier for the White Sox than I am. Okay. That's probably not true. There's probably people a little more happy, but
right, White Sox fans.
White Sox fans, yeah, that's a good one. They had a tough start to the year. I mean, they scored 11 against us.
Yep.
10 against the A's, 8 against the Brewers.
Hey, Joey.
Yep.
It's probably time to do the pitching preview.
Oh, okay, folks, it is 3 games back at Fenway Park against the Minnesota Twins. Game 1 is going to be Brian Bayo versus Joe Ryan. Brian Bayo allowed 3 and 6 innings his last time out. He's only faced the Twins once in his career, and that was in August of 2022. 4 innings, 8 base runners, but that game was at 6:40, which I'm going to consider a day game. Cannot count it. Joe Ryan is an American podcaster, UFC color commentator, comedian, actor, and former television host. He has been criticized for promoting conspiracy theories, COVID-19 misinformation, and for hosting guests who spread misinformation and pseudoscience. Game 2 is going to be TBD versus Bailey Ober. Tori Belinsky Dinkins is out on bail. TBD has officially been released from Suffolk County Jail. Although out on bail, Dinkins does still await trial for his disgusting actions that I personally do not condone. Scott, any statement?
No comment.
Bailey Ober had a good year once. Do you want me to cut that?
Probably.
Bailey Ober had a good year once. God, this team is so boring. In Game 3, it's going to be Garrett Crochet versus Chris Paddock. Garrett Crochet's ERA has peaked above 2, and I'm going to go ahead and say it sinks right back down after this start. Garrett Crochet has 9, count them, 9 scoreless appearances against the Twins in his career. And that's all I'm going to say about that stat. Do not look it up. And Chris Paddock is just a clone of Bailey Ober, except that his one good year was even longer ago. Team sucks. And that is going to do it for your pitching preview. First of all, it feels like they've been on the road for 3 weeks. I can't believe this was 6 games. 6-game road trip. They went 3-3 on the road trip. I was like, the OB said that at the end, 3-3 on the road trip. I'm like, this was 2 series? Have they not been gone all year? So a Fenway return, which is exciting. What's not exciting is the Minnesota Twins. I'm going to go ahead and argue they're not. They're not. I'm going to say they're the most irrelevant franchise in baseball.
Dude. Remember Max Kepler? Remember him?
Yeah, he's not there.
Yeah, but remember him?
Oh, yeah. Joe
That's what I
Mauer.
said, yeah.
Joe Mauer.
Jorge Polanco.
Sure.
Remember him?
Yep. Yeah. I think that's it
He's
for
having a great
Twins.
year. Nelson
Byron
Cruz.
Buxton.
No, I don't care for anyone that's on the current team. Except for Chris.
Oh,
I thought Chris Paddock was going to be like the best pitcher of all time.
he's not. He had a good year.
Hit a good game against us.
I bet he did. Well, a lot of folks
He was
did.
having a terrible year, but not against us.
We had a problem last year. We had a team problem last year. A roster construction problem for the past many years. So not our problem, not our fault. I don't know. I just couldn't give a fucking shit about the Minnesota Twins. Like the Rockies, the Nats, the White Sox, like that shit matters. Like the bottom of the barrel shit matters just for the history or like the spectacle of it. I can't give a shit about the Minnesota Twins maybe or maybe not sneaking into the wild card and getting bounced immediately. Like you are there to be they are the perfect example of a team that exists because other teams need opponents.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true. That's such a good way to put that team.
Like you guys, yeah, you can come to October because like we have to have somebody out of your division, but like, see ya.
I feel that way about Washington, Miami, sometimes Milwaukee, Cincinnati for sure.
Dude, I think the Marlins could be such a fun franchise. The Reds, I have to remind myself, like, that people really, really give a shit about Cincinnati.
Ellie.
They're like, yeah. Well, I'm not saying, like, this year or anything. I mean, like, that Cincinnati's a fucking baseball town.
They got a better record than us by half a game.
They're not bad. They're not bad at all. I mean, they just won, like, 9 in a row or something.
Hunter Green's an ace now. He was supposed to be the next Bryce Harper / Ohtani.
They just got to figure out where Ellie plays baseball. And, yeah, they could be okay.
Shortstop.
They have him in the outfield.
He should be the shortstop. He leads the league in errors and also, like, outs above average. He's one of the craziest shortstops in the history of the sport. And I want to keep seeing that.
Yeah, he's all over the place. Anyway, that's your Minnesota Twins preview. What do you think happens here? Do they sweep the Twins? I kind of feel like they might sweep the Twins. A good Bayo day. It's a night game, 7-10.
It's a night game, and Bayo always wins, so he's going to win that. The Red Sox are going to win that one. My thing about the Twins is kind of to your point. I feel like they're so boring that you don't get sweeps against them. I feel like they're designed to be 2-1 series. So I'm gonna say 2-1. I think it'd be too fun to sweep the Twins.
I mean, would it be that fun? Like, would you be jumping out of your seat to be like, oh my God, we swept the fucking Twins? We get on the show and we're like sounding air horns and shit. I don't think so. I think we'd just be like, yeah, they swept the Twins. Nice. Cool. Good.
I think for the fact that it would put the Red Sox in a different position in a way. It's early, obviously, but getting them like out of that like 500 like realm slightly. I don't know. It just feels like it'd be too fun.
Something in me says they do. No word on what they do for that middle game because TVD will probably be facing trial. He'll probably, I think he has an arraignment that day. Hunter Dobbins. Dude, give Newcomb the start. I would like to see either one, but more than likely Dobbins.
I like Dobbins and I like Newcomb backpacking. But what did they piggyback when they used to do this with Whitlock? Piggyback starts, right? Is that the
paper clipped?
Yeah. They used to have Whitlock
stapled.
On
is that actually what it was? It was stapled.
No, I think it was piggybacked.
Yes, but like they also used, I think it was stapled or paper clipped.
That I genuinely have not heard.
Because it was Bernardino and Houck. Is that who it was?
Yeah, they did that. They did.
Yeah.
I think they did. Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
And they did with Whitlock too.
Yeah, give Newcomb the first two.
No. He's better as a
No?
reliever. He strikes out everyone as a reliever.
I mean, he's an opener is basically a reliever. It's like pre-relief. It's like Pepto-Bismol when you eat some B-dubs. You're like, this is pre-relief. I know I'm going to get heartburn.
I want Dobbins to be Pepto-Bismol, and then I want Newcomb to come in from the stretch and just start. It's a mental thing, I think. I don't even tell him that he's like. The thing is, I feel like in those situations they usually tell you, "Hey, you're gonna like." He's probably only gonna go 4. You got the 5th and the 6th. I don't want that. I want 2 minutes before. I don't even want him to throw warm-up pitches. These starters that suck as starters are good relievers when they don't know they're starting or pitching.
Yeah. So you're saying like let him sleep in, like wake him up and be like, "We fucking need you at the field right now."
Yeah, exactly.
Because
then he has too much time to think about it on the ride over, whatever. I need him in the bullpen. I need him to just be like, another game you probably won't play today unless we're down like 100, and then be like, oh, need you, hey, right now.
Hey, that's you.
They need a guy right now. There's Cora. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He's flicking sunflower seeds into his hat. Yeah.
Yep. And then for some reason, this guy goes, well, I guess not a thought in my brain. I guess I'll just throw strikes and they'll be filthy, and it looks like I throw harder and I'll be better.
I guess I'll just go strike everyone out and come back here. Is that cool?
I guess I'm a big leaguer and I have a big league slider. Let me just see what happens when I do that.
Yeah, I'll probably give that.
And I guess I could just. You know what? I didn't have time to prepare for this outing. What if I just try and gas this guy up right now?
That's going to be an interesting one. I think it's in the cards. Man, we're split on this one. I don't want to be split is the thing, because we've been
good at
fucking hot, dude. Yeah.
So
I mean, is it the middle game you're on, or are you thinking like, because you said Bayo, you said you're giving Bayo the dub. They're undefeated with Bayo on the mound. Crochet loves facing the Twins.
I'm torn because Ober's good, okay, he's solid, and the TBD situation is the worst situation you have. I'm also a little afraid. Yeah, I guess it's that middle game because, like, I mean, I do like Paddock. Last time I was right on him having a good game, but Garrett Crochet's going. So I guess it's the middle game I worry about. Are we gonna? You know what? I'll go sweep for the show's sake. I feel like you've had the hotter hand, and I guess we should be on the same page.
Okay. I like that. I appreciate that concession. I want you to know that. Also, this is the first series finale they've lost. The Boston Red Sox.
Wow. Did not know that, but I will say I have felt there's been many shows where I'm like, we lost a series, but like one
at least
today,
we won
so
tonight.
I'm in an okay mood. Yeah.
Yeah. They win final games, man. It's what they do. But not if Justin Slayton has anything to say about it. Yeah, I'm taking the sweep. I'm feeling good. Even though those were disastrous heartbreakers, there's nothing to point to on the field that says they can't be a much better, or they can't get better outcomes than what they got. They're a good fucking team. And the more I look at them, the more the Meyer and Anthony conversation rolls on, the more you're like, holy fucking shit, this lineup is stacked. Speaking of which, some little news on our way out of here. Meyer got scratched from a game in Worcester today with some back stiffness. And Christian Campbell was scratched, some rib soreness, and Walker Buehler is, I just wrote hurt. So something going on with him. I think it was his rib, shoulder, hip, knee, head, eyes. Was it his eyes? I think it was his eyes. He had something in his eye. That's what it was.
Yeah. And they had to go to Boston to get it out.
Well, the best doctors in the country, man. What are you going to do? You try to get it out yourself?
Shoulder, which is a sore shoulder is a tough one because it's his throwing shoulder, and that's kind of important.
Yeah.
You know what though? Throwing shoulder, not nearly as bad as like an elbow or a lat. I feel like oddly,
but also I've been a fan of the Boston Red Sox, so I know a sore shoulder could mean like your start gets pushed back 3 days, and a sore shoulder can mean we'll see you when you're a free agent. Like it just could mean anything. So I don't know. I don't think it's the big. I'm not panicked, but also sometimes these things just compound and compound and compound. So
the Meyer one is low-key the scariest because that is
so?
a chronic thing for it. Well, it's because he's been dealing with, he's got a little Bogarts in him where he's already got a chronic injury, which is why I always thought I always comped him to Bogarts, and you know he had it with the wrist, and with Meyer he's had some back tightness issues that seem to be. I don't know that he's ever not going to have that.
Yeah. You ever think about what the reality is where, like, whatever multiverse universe is out there where the Boston Red Sox retain Xander Bogaerts?
It would have been bad.
Yeah, it'd be weird. At the very least, weird. Probably more like bad.
Hindsight. Well, because not only has he not been great, but you'd be doing the whole like if he was in Trevor Story's shoes, you'd be going, I want him to play forever because I love him and he's the captain and he's the, like I have so much attachment to him. I don't know if you've heard about this Marcelo Meyer guy though. He Scott, has 34 RBIs in 25 games.
I got news for you. Trevor Story would also be here. We got Story before Bogarts left. So they would both be in the infield. So there would be no, like, Campbell and Meyer would be like, what are we going to do? And then you would probably be talking about trading Bogarts right now.
Yeah.
And be like, well, they just gave him $170 million. So, like, what are they going to do? Who's going to eat up the last $90 million?
Campbell would either be in the David Hamilton role or also in AAA.
Yeah. It would suck. It would make the problem that we have bigger. So shout out to, I guess, Heim for seeing that was going to be the case. It sucked in the moment, and I was really mad. Oh,
I was there. But you were not happy.
Yeah.
That was one of the worst moments. Like, that one was bad because it's one thing to, one of your favorite player leaves, to be in San Diego at the winter meetings when that happened and he signs with San Diego and everyone's excited and we're out in San Diego. That was tough. And it's crazy how that became a legitimately good thing by a lot. Like, I don't even think it's an argument. Not just now, like it would have been a bad thing almost immediately. And it's funny how confident you can be in those moments as a sports fan. Just remember how stupid you are in those moments as a sports fan because you have no idea.
You have to use some hindsight. Like, you have to use some retrospect and look back on those moments to humble yourself. To be like, oh, yeah, no, I guess I don't know what's going on.
I literally remember that happening and going, this literally couldn't be a good thing for us. Like, there's no scenario where this is a good thing for us. Because, I mean, and technically in the next year, that's true. But you just got to relax. Drew Bledsoe goes down and the greatest player of all time replaces him on your bench. Like, that's what we're talking about. This sports is so stupid. And so, yeah, just a little life lesson for me. You're stupid.
Thank you, Scott.
And
take that one home, folks. Take that one home. Chew on it. We'll be back after this thrilling series against a team that we don't need to have, but they're around, I guess. Target Field is cool. There you go. There's something nice. I said something nice about the Twins. Their logo sucks, but the old one where they had like the two guys on the state of Minnesota, like the Twins. That's kind of cool. Also, if you have two cities directly next to each other and they don't need to be, it's not two, it's one metro area. It's one city.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, what are the Twin Cities? What are the two?
Minneapolis and St. Paul.
St. Paul. Really?
St. Paul, Minnesota. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they play in St. Paul, don't they? Isn't Target Field in St. Paul or is it in Minneapolis?
It's insane how much I'll never know the answer to that question or care. Like, you're going to say it right now, I still don't care.
Yeah, I won't even tell you. Yeah, I'll just keep that information to myself. Thanks for listening, everybody. You can follow us on the socials at ITM_pod. You can follow us. You follow me at Joey Copponi. You can follow him at Scott Neville 46, just like, whatever. And sub on the YouTube. Please sub on the YouTube. We are all audio, no video. And CLNS is like, put it on YouTube. And we're like, no, people don't watch on YouTube. People know us as audio. People don't go on the YouTube. So the YouTube all has like no views. So go over to the YouTube, please. If you can boost it, send it to a friend, and then make me look really good. And leave a comment that says, like, God, the boys look strong today. Mainly the guy on the left. Who's that guy? He looks handsome and strong. Has he been going to the gym for like 3 days this week? Those protein shakes are paying off. Put something like that. That would really help us out. And we will see you after this series against the Shitty Twins. For Scott Neville and Joey Copponi, go Sox game.